Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, November 25th at the time of this recording, and I'd like to welcome you back to another must-have week of our comic book pull list. And I'm going to try to make this a little bit shorter than usual because it is very late in recording this. But I'd like to give a shout out to Bailey's Comics and Trung for his open doorness and his hospitality for allowing me to interview him and to shoot in his comic book store. That is my LCS, and I just like to give a little shout out to him. And before we get into these books, I had some other things I was going to cover, but the only thing that I want to talk about is Silver Surfer Black. Look for him to pop up in Avengers number 27 coming out this week. There are 3 covers for that, which we will cover later in this video. And I hope that you guys have went over into my log of videos and saw the 3 videos that I posted it up for local comic book shop day. One of them 6 minutes, one of them's 10 minutes, and one of them is about a half an hour. I would implore you to please go over there, share, like, and subscribe over there at From to Heroes to Icons. And as always, I thank you in advance. All right, as always, going to start off with DC Comics. We have Action Comics 1017 by Brian Michael Bendis and John Romita Jr. Some people aren't too pleased with the work John Romita Jr. has been putting out for DC, but I guess he's pretty fast, so they have him jump from Batman to Superman. And cover A is by John Romita Jr. and a really dark cover, but a really nice one. Cover B is by Lucio Perillo. Basket Full of Heads number 2 by Joe Hill, as everyone has been saying, the son of Stephen King, and Leomoc Stan McDade. Alrighty, and I only have cover A, and that is by Rico Murakami. Batgirl 41 by Cecil Casalucci and Carmine Di Giandomenico. Yes, love those names. Cover A is by Dustin Nugent, and cover B is by Terry Dodson. And I would say if you pick up a card stock cover, be aware that it is $1 more than cover A. Even the acetate covers are regular price. Batman Beyond 38 by Dan Jurgens and Sean Chen. This book is heating up, so make sure you try to get yours. Cover A is by Lee Weeks, and cover B is by Francis Manapul. And I believe for the next 2 months, December and at least January, maybe it might go into February, that Francis Manapul is doing these cover A's, and they are spectacular. We have another 100-page giant-sized book that is Batman number 2. So if you're into that, pick that up. And then we have Detective Comics 1016 by Peter Tomasi and Doug Mankey. Mankey is doing cover A, and Carrie Andrews is doing cover B. One of my favorites from DC, The Flash 83 by Joshua Williamson and Scott Collins. Rafael Sandoval is doing cover A, and Gilliam March is doing cover B. If you have not been reading Flash, you are missing out. And I believe 750 in the old school numerics is coming up in Flash, and that's supposed to be a big book, as well as Wonder Woman 750. The Freedom Fighters number 11 by Robert Venditti and Eddie Barrows. Fell off way too hard on this, so I'm going to have to pick up the trade in that, most likely. Last God number 2. This book is crazy. By Philip Kennedy Johnson and Riccardo Federici. Yeah, that needs to be on your pull list. Red Hood Outlaw number 40 by Scott Lobdell and Kenneth Rocafort. We got cover A by Ken Marion and cover B, very nice, by Philip Tan. And finally, after much delays, we have Shazam number 8 by Jeff Johns and Dale Inglesham. They need to do something about this. He's my favorite character, and he's being treated like the bald-headed stepchild or something. Cover A is by Dale Inglesham, and cover B is by Michael Cho. We have Tales of the Dark Multiverse, Infinite Crisis by James Tinian and Aaron Lopresti. Very, very nice looking cover right there. The Terrifics 22 by Jean Louise Yang and Steven Segovia. Stephen Byrne is doing cover A, and cover B is by Riley Rosmo. And that is it for our DC Comics. Moving on to Image Comics, we have a nice book, Philadelphia, a new book from Image, and it is by Rodney Barnes and Jason Shaw Alexander. Cover A is by Jason Shaw Alexander, and cover B is by Francesco Mattina. I don't know if that's a limited edition or something like that. I think they're calling it the Black Friday cover. And obviously, there is that local comic book shop day cover, which was sold on Saturday. I got mine, and I hope you got yours. For our independent books, we're going to go to one of my favorites. I'll say my guilty pleasures. Angel number 7 by Brian Edward Hill and Gleb Melnikov. Dan Panazzone is doing cover A, and Jacob Rebelka is doing cover B. Yeah, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 42 by Margaret Bennett and Simone DeMeo. Jamal Campbell is doing cover A. Gani Montes is doing cover B, which is continuing those foil covers. And Dan Mora, shooting from the 3-point line, is doing cover C. We have Wolf and Heart number 2 by Mark London and Alejandro Geraldo. Yes, I think I nailed that. Moving on to Marvel Comics. And I guess I can say make mine Marvel, right? We have that book that I was talking about, The Avengers number 27 by Jason Aaron, and my boy Ed McGuinness is back on the pencils for that. Cover A is by Ed McGuinness. Nick Bradshaw is giving us a Ghost Rider 2099 variant, and we have, I think it's a 1 in 100 variant, and this is the Star Brand cover. Look for it, grab it, and slab it. I'm gonna leave it right there. Black Panther number 18 by Ta-Nehisi Coates and Chris Sprouse. And I hope this book becomes grounded a little bit more with all the intergalactic Black Panther stuff. Conan 2099 one-shot by Jerry Dugan and Rogue Antonio. I believe I said that. Rogue Antonio? Okay. Cover A is by Jeff Shaw, and cover B is by Ron Lim. Fallen Angels number 2 by Brian Edward Hill and Simone Krugansky, who actually liked one of my drawings on Instagram. Pretty cool. Cover A is by Ashley Witter. Cover B there is by Ben Oliver, and I don't think that's a B cover. I think that's one of those Unknown Comics exclusives or something, but it's fire. And cover C by Peach Momoko. That Peach Momoko did last week's X-Force cover, I believe. Or was it this week's X-Force cover? C'est la vie. Fantastic Four Grand Design number 2, written, drawn, and cover by Tom Scaloi. And then we have another FF book, Fantastic Four Negative Zone number 1 by Mike Carey and Stefano Casella. I like that guy. Cover A is by Kim Jacinto, and cover B is by Miko Siyuan. Ghost Spider number 4 by Shonen Maguire and Takashi Miwazawa. I'm sorry. And that cover there is by George Molina. The Invisible Woman number 5 by Mark Waid and Matea De Luis. And we have the Adam Hughes cover for that. New Mutants number 2 by Jonathan Hickman, Ed Brisson, and Rod Reyes. Rod Reyes is doing cover A. Miko Suyuan is doing cover B, and Arthur Adams is doing cover C. And that cover C is a high price incentive variant, I believe, $25 to $30. Punisher 2099 one shot by Lonnie Nadler and Matt Horak. Patrick Zurcher is doing cover A, and Ron Lim gives us an old school 2099 variant of cover B. Uncanny X-Men 266. Facsimile edition of the first appearance of the Raging Cajun himself, Mr. Gambit. And I just acquired another one of those, but there was a tear on the back cover. Guess I'll get two of these. Valkyrie, I don't know what number this is, by Jason Aaron and Cafu. And we have one cover there by Mahmoud Ashrar. Venom number 20. As always, Donny Cates picks up his books. And I guess this will be a hot one to get, by Donny Cates and Jose Carlos Silva. Kyle Holtz is doing cover A. Tony Daniel is doing cover B. Cover C is a 2099 variant by Cole Pham. And cover D is by Ryan Lodi. I'll leave his middle name out of it. X-Force, the last book for Marvel, number 2, by Benjamin Percy and Joshua Cassara. Dustin Weaver is doing cover A. Geraldo Zaffino is doing cover B. And Scon is doing cover C. And that's it, my people, for the books of the week that you are going to receive the day before Thanksgiving. For our covers of the week, we have Red Hood Outlaw number 40 by Philip Tan. That Fallen Angels number 2, that Ben Oliver cover of Psylocke, magnifique. And Batman Beyond 38, the Francis Manapul cover. As for our books of the week, I'm going to go with Batman Beyond 38. We are speculating that the identity of Batwoman is going to be revealed. The Last God number 2, which is a awesome read thus far. Venom number 20. It's, I guess, the aftermath of the Absolute Carnage book. And Donny Cates says go and get that. And Avengers 27. It's the hunt for the new Star Brand. And we find out that the Silver Surfer Black is back in continuity. And as for our book of the week, we're going to go with Image Comics Philadelphia number 1. Another new vampire book by Rodney Barnes and Jason Shaw Alexander. And I hope that you guys have a wonderful, fulfilling, and safe Thanksgiving. Be blessed. And as always, I'll catch you at the same bad time and at the same bad channel. Peace.